Hi, my name is Reed Matthews. I have worked for the Sri Memorial Library in Shreveport for 20 years and in the Genealogy Department for about 13 years. I love this library. It is my honor to give this very brief, very basic introduction to our department. This is part one of two parts. Part one will involve a general overview of our department. Part two will be a discussion of how we can use these materials to research our own families. There are three overarching ideas that I like to discuss whenever I speak of the genealogy department at Shreve. I do always like to tell the story of how our genealogy department developed. The biggest part of what we'll talk about today is the resources of the genealogy department. We at Shreve Memorial Library are dedicated to the idea of lifelong learning. We consider it our absolute mission to help people of all ages to find information that they need to improve their lives. And what that means is that if you have questions that very serious questions that might include financial matters or medical concerns or career development, you can bring that to the library and we can help you find information that might be very helpful for you. You can also bring very trivial questions to us. Uh, if you wake up one morning and want to know about where the butterflies go in the wintertime, you can bring that question to us too. We in the genealogy department uh, like to advertise our very wonderful facility that's available to all people. It's absolutely free, and if you ever have any interest in trying to research your own family history, you can come see us and we can see if we can't help you find information on your family. The Shreve Memorial Library has had a basic genealogy and local history section ever since it was first created in 1925. The genealogy department has gradually grown over years. It's been the work of many hands. There have been many people who have worked to donate and contribute to the collection. Because it was developed by us who live right here in Shreveport or in the North Louisiana, it naturally focuses on the Arklatex, the South, and the East. In the 1950s, a whole new interest in genealogy developed in Shreveport. The Arklatex Genealogical Association was formed there in 1955. As a part of their charter, the Arklatex Genealogical Association declared that it was their mission to aid in the development of the Shreve Memorial Library. The Arklatex Genealogical Association has been very true to their promise to aid the genealogy department at Shreve. Over the years, they have donated thousands of dollars worth of materials to the library. One of the biggest donations they ever made was in the 1960s. In that time, they partnered with the Genealogical Society of Utah to microfilm the courthouse records of Louisiana. They went all over the state microfilming records. As a part of that deal, they got to garner a huge collection of microfilm that they deposited with our library. Shreve Memorial has had a staffed genealogy department since the 1950s. In 1963, Juanita Rimbert became our genealogy librarian. She later became the director of the Shreve Memorial Library System. She supervised a wonderful period of expansion for our library. She did many good things for our library. But one of the things she's credited with is more than any other person in the world, she's credited with building our genealogy collection into one of the best in the South. In 2018, We honored Mrs. Rimbert by naming our genealogical collection for her. It is now the Juanita Rimbert Genealogical Collection. The Genealogy Department of the Shreve Memorial System is now located in the Broadmoor Branch, which is located at 1212 Captain Shreve Drive in Shreveport. We occupy about 25% of the floor space of the library. It's a very large part of the library. We are open Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Genealogy Department is now housed in the Broadmoor Branch of the Shreve Memorial Library System. It occupies about 25% of the floor space of this branch. Our hours are whenever the branch is open. Resources of the Genealogy Department at Shreve include databases, books, microfilm, and of course our wonderful library staff. Ancestry.com is the most popular genealogy database going these days. Shreve Memorial makes it available to all patrons of the library. Anyone who can make it into our library branches can use Ancestry.com for free. It is a wonderful resource. We in the Genealogy Department go to it daily and constantly, and we get a lot of good information. It's not uncommon for people to come in and not know much at all about their family history, maybe a grandparent or a great-grandparent, but then to, at one sitting, get two or three or four generations of the family. The staff of the Genealogy Department are happy to help you if you would like assistance in learning how to use Ancestry.com and how to get good information on your family. MyHeritage is a database that is a competitor to Ancestry.com. So it doesn't have quite as much as Ancestry.com, but it has things that Ancestry.com doesn't have. So it's well worth trying your luck with MyHeritage. MyHeritage has the benefit that it is available from home. So you can log into our website for the Shreve Memorial Library, and with your library card, you can access MyHeritage from home. The Shreve Memorial Library also makes available a database called Fold3. Fold3 is mainly military information for Americans through all of our history. They do have other information such as city directories, and our version of Fold3 includes a package that doesn't come automatically that has to do with Native American research. The Dawes rolls that listed all the Native Americans who were living in Oklahoma in the early 1900s is also available through our version of Fold3. The Genealogy Department has recently acquired a new database, which is the Fire Insurance Maps Online. But these are the old Sanborn fire insurance maps that were put together to aid fire departments all across the country. And if you possibly have a family that lived in a town of any size anywhere in America, they very likely had these maps made for the same towns where your people may have lived. They're excellent sources. Our database includes the states of Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, and Mississippi, but they're excellent sources if you're researching a home or a business anywhere in that area. The Genealogy Department at Shreve has a large collection of reference books. They're all devoted to helping you find information about your family. As you might guess, there are books that are all about a single family's history. So obviously, if there's been a book written about your own family, you want to find that book, and it can be a wonderful source of information for you. We have a military history section, which might give you information on an ancestor's involvement in the service of our country. But by far, the biggest part of our library is ordered geographically. We have books on foreign countries. The biggest part, even yet, is on the United States and the separate counties within these states. As family historians, we learn to think geographically, and the library is ordered the way we think. Although most of our library is reference materials that cannot be checked out, we do have a circulating section now, and we're trying to build it up. We're trying to make it better, but you'll find a lot of how-tos and manuals in this section. And some of them are pretty specific subjects, such as cemetery research or courthouse research or working with DNA. Many of our books in our circulating section deal with specific ethnicities. So if you're into Irish research or Scottish research, the books pictured here are all about African American research. Whatever corner your ancestry takes you into, you can probably find people who have been there and are happy to give their advice on how to do that kind of research. And a lot of that material is available in our circulating section. The Genealogy Department has many very unusual items in our collection. And just as an example, we talked about the fire insurance maps database that we have, but a lot of people have encountered the Sanborn maps just that way, online or in databases. But we actually have a copy of the 1935 Sanborn maps for the city of Shreveport. Some of the materials we have in our genealogy department are very rare. There are things like research materials that people have donated to our vertical files. There are manuscripts, and this is just one example. Joe Slattery has done a lot of good work in collecting up the grave sites of Confederate veterans in Caddo Parish. But he made his manuscript, his handwritten, handmade book that's available here at our genealogy department, but nowhere else. Much of the information that's on microfilm that we've had at the genealogy department for many years has recently been digitized and made available through other sources. So where a microfilm is not the source it used to be, there are still sources that are available on microfilm, and our microfilm that we have that may not be available any other way. So it's still an important source. Many people are familiar with the Family Search and the Family History Library in Salt Lake City, but they have been digitizing much of their microfilm, and they're making it available now to affiliates of their library. And we at the Shreveport Memorial Library Genealogy Department has special access to the digital imagery that they have generated in the last 20 years. We in the Genealogy Department at Shreve are here to help you at whatever stage you may be in researching your family. If you've never begun, we can help you begin your research. If you have specific problems, it's just a kind of a natural thing with doing family research that you get stuck sometimes. We are happy to work with you. We don't guarantee that we'll find your answers for you, but you might be surprised. And if nothing else, we can maybe get you to some sources of information that might be helpful for you. In the past few years, we've emphasized education as never before. We've started giving classes on a regular basis, and you can look at the library's webpage to find more information about that. I hope you have found this introduction to our genealogy department helpful. I know it's kind of dry just to run through the different sources this way. It really means more if you can learn how to use these sources to find information on your own family. And that we will discuss in more detail in part 2 of our discussion. I do want to invite anyone who's interested in finding more information on your family history to come and see us at the Genealogy Department. Genealogy can be a spiritual quest. It can be a life-changing, soul-sustaining experience. I wish that or something like that for you and for everyone.